Hello, my name is Gracelyn Duncan, and I will be presenting my stage management for Clue High School Edition by Eric Price, Hunter Foster, based on the screenplay by Jonathan Lynn and written by Sandy Rustin. So for Clue, I stage managed, did the lighting design, and did the sound tech for the entire show. I actually have two scripts with me here. I have my stage management script, and then I have a script for the backstage crew. So I had two scripts. Because Clue is such a tech-heavy production, I decided to have the second one to keep backstage, to keep my ASMs and crew ready for all of the scene transitions. The scene transitions went pretty flawlessly throughout the entire show. We had 4 shows at the early January. As you can see, I have a lot of annotations throughout the entire script. If I can find another one. A lot of annotations. So most of my inspiration, I hadn't actually seen the play before I had done this production. However, a lot of my inspiration came from Pinterest. It came from just looking up the poster for the play and how people had done this production, especially when it came to designing the lights and designing the sound for this production. Now, with the theater we have a very small stage. We don't have a lot of space to do all of these scene transitions, which is why coordinating with all of my ASMs was extremely important with the transitions. Another challenge that I faced was that we had 3 headsets. So I had one, and then my 2 ASMs had headsets. I couldn't communicate with the person doing the spotlight, as you can see down there. I couldn't communicate with the person doing the lighting or the sound. I had to trust them, and we worked endlessly during Tech Week to get everything down to a fine art. However, it all worked out in the end. The transitions between each of the rooms went pretty well. The most difficult transition I found was the one with the dining room into the study, because we had to bring a table on to center stage, bring it off at the end of the scene, and then transition onto a couch, a desk, and an extra chair. We did work through this, and it took a lot of practice to get everything tight with my ASMs. However, all was well, and the show went pretty well. We have our tickets right here. And now I'm just going to take you through some of the stuff that I had worked on during my time before the production even happened in the first place. First off, we have a prop plot. These have all of the characters. Each time they have a prop on stage or a set piece on stage, and then which scene they have it in. So this could coordinate. I worked with the props person to get this list ready so that I had a copy, she had a copy, and the director had a copy, so that before a show, the actors would go up and touch all of their props to make sure everything was coordinated. I also have a plot that shows each and every room in Clue, like the study, the lounge, the dining room, and which characters are in it in which scene, so that this also helped during rehearsal when we had to figure out who's in what room at which time, who dies where, who leaves in one way and comes out another. Additionally, I also helped with costumes, so I wrote up my own costume list. I have each of the characters, what I envisioned their costumes to look like, and then I gave it to the costumes person, and they handled the costumes from there. Now, along with all of this, I also have some of my early lighting cues. I have what page the lighting takes place on, the cue for it, and then the description of how I want the lighting to look here. So as you can see, I highlighted the end and the beginning of each scene, and there are quite a few pages of this included in all of that. Now, in my actual script, I have cues as to when the characters enter, when they stand by, and then I also have sound cues and lighting cues. So this was the sound cue right here. The purple is the sound cues, and the green was the lighting cues that I had throughout the show. A scene in particular, scene 9, had a lot going on with it. It had, that was the scene where they're all dancing around and searching the house. So that scene was incredibly difficult to do the whole time. But we managed and it worked out. I'm just pulling up the page right now. So here, for example, in the backstage crew one, I included when things were not on stage. I included when things were on stage. So this helped a lot with coordinating how everything was, and it helped in my role with only the 3 headsets that we had, so I could communicate easier with my ASMs instead of with the lighting person or the sound person. So this is the lighting booth that I'm sitting in right here. And then right in front of me here is the soundboard. So I would be sitting right here, and then the light person is sitting right behind me here. All right. Thank you so much for listening to my presentation.